As stewards of gifts, we are expected to use those gifts and not be buried. He gave those gifts according to our ability. So each person, based on their ability, should be developing their gifts that God has given them. Welcome to Let's Talk About It Tomorrow. My name is Tim Brown and I attend Church of Tomorrow. In addition, I have an organization, Kingdom Entrepreneurs. And today we're going to discuss what I call the entrepreneur's parable, the parable of the talents. It's in Matthew 25, 14 through 30. To briefly overview that parable, a landowner has entrusted the stewardship of talents to employees, and he actually goes off on a trip to do business. And in the original text, a talent is a monetary or a coin. For this example, I'm going to relate to talents or skills that God has given us based on skill sets, whether you're education, vocational, or occupational. We all have individual talents given to us by God, whether it's Mozart or the self-taught guitarist Eddie Van Halen, from an accountant providing financial services to a carpenter building a house. Those giftings need to be developed in order to fulfill the call of God in your life. And for this definition, I will relate to becoming a kingdom entrepreneur to developing yourself individually and then creating organizations for positive change in culture. Today, we're going to focus more on the individual instead of the organization. One thing we learned from this parable is that the landowner expected a return from his investment. As stewards of gifts, we are expected to use those gifts and not be buried. He gave those gifts according to our ability. So each person, based on their ability, should be developing their gifts that God has given them. Stewards are also expected to take a risk. There is a clear correlation between risk and reward in the parable. Without the risk, there is no reward. And as we see in the parable, the first servant actually was given 5 talents, and he bartered and traded and earned another 5 talents. The second servant was given 2 talents. He bargained and traded and was awarded 2 more talents when the master returned. The third servant chose to, instead of investing and developing that talent, buried the talent because they feared their landowner. So that shows that there's both taking a risk, there is both rewards and punishment. When the landowner returned, he of course settled those accounts as I mentioned. He was pleased with the first and the second stewards. The third was afraid and buried that talent. And his rationale was that he much rather would bury that talent than to have it developed. The landowner's response to the first servant was to give the talent that he buried to the first servant who had 10 talents. And also he sent him away to a place of darkness and of weeping and gnashing of teeth. What we've learned from this parable is that we need to develop the talents that God has given us. That may include you getting education, that may include you volunteering, that may include you possibly working with a mentor or someone to develop those talents. Skills can be learned. There are already God-given talents within us, but you can always find a place where you can learn, whether it's at a for-profit or non-for-profit. But God does expect us to develop our talents that He has given so that we can multiply them and develop them more. By developing those talents, we provide a solution to somebody else, and we're their answer to their problem. As I stated previously, an accountant solves a financial problem, A bricklayer helps to build a house, a carpenter helps to build a house, but without a plumber, you don't have plumbing either. And all those talents together build a house. As you develop your talents, they will begin to multiply, and you will also be able to figure out what you're good at or where you can improve and where your weaknesses are. And with that, you can also determine where other people within your team have their strengths to assist you with your weaknesses. As I stated previously, I attend Church of Tomorrow here in Oklahoma City, and actually I taught on Kingdom Entrepreneurs back in May of this year. And if you want to develop your talents and skills at this church, you can attend, and we have a staff here to help with that. And there are various areas where you can develop your skills and learn about your skills and learn what you are good at or what you're not good at. And you can visit us at 6800 North Bryan Avenue on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And that is located on I-44, the junction of I-44 and I-35 on the east side of the highway. Thanks for your time today, and God bless you.